From a new building in China that was leveled to preserve an ancient city, and a skyscraper in Fort Worth, Texas that filled the streets with dust and debris, to a crowd in Kentucky that gathered to wave goodbye to this old landmark, and a record-breaking implosion in the UAE captured from multiple angles. In this video, Bestmediatv tells 10 skyscrapers demolitions caught on camera. Please like and subscribe the channel for more upcoming like videos. Let's start. Gautam Buddha Nagar is a large district in Uttar Pradesh, India. It's a relatively new area, having been carved out of two other districts and formed in 1997. The population has grown since then, meaning the region needed new buildings to house all those people. In 2005, a development company called Supertech proposed building 14 towers measuring 9 floors each. The local government approved the blueprints, but then those plans suddenly changed without permission. Instead, Supertech built 2 adjacent 40-story towers. After a 9-year legal battle, the Indian Supreme Court ruled that the buildings were illegal and must be torn down. So, much to Supertech's demise, the Indian Twin Towers were rigged with 3,700 kilos of explosives and brought down on August 28th of 2022. It only took 10 seconds for the Indian towers to fall, making you wonder if it was all worth it. It's unclear why Supertech changed course and built 2 giant buildings without permission. Maybe they were trying to call the Supreme Court's bluff? They can't help us if the towers are already built, right? Wrong. The court ruled that Supertech had to repay everyone who purchased homes in the towers, plus 12% interest from the time of booking. They were also fined for blocking sunlight and fresh air in nearby areas during the illegal construction. In the end, Supertech learned a valuable lesson. Always stick to the plan. Blackpool, England is a seaside resort town in Lancashire. It sits on the Irish Sea coast, about 27 miles north of Liverpool. For the longest time, its residents were forced to look at the Queen's Park Flats, a series of 5 high-rise apartment buildings that have been abandoned since 2011. Some of them used to live there, but it doesn't mean they liked it. Poole voted to tear the buildings down and start over. Demolition officially began in 2014, with 2 of the towers coming down in pieces. Then, on July 31st, they opted for a quicker method via controlled demolition. Over the next 4 years, the Queen's Park Flats underwent a £22 million facelift. Today, the estate consists of 191 apartments and family homes. There's a brand new playground for the kids, and the turnover rate is only 5%. Chinese builders and development planners have a terrible habit of biting off more than they can chew. Throughout the 2010s and 2020s, we've seen plenty of mega projects go up nationwide only to fall into ruin and be condemned years later. For 4 years, the Queen's Park Flats underwent a £22 million facelift. Today, the estate consists of 191 apartments and family homes. There's a brand new playground for the kids, and the turnover rate is only 5%. Chinese builders and development planners have a terrible habit of biting off more than they can chew. Throughout the 2010s and 2020s, we've seen plenty of mega projects go up nationwide only to fall into ruin and be condemned years later. One recent example is Sunshine City 2, which was supposed to consist of 15 high-rise apartment buildings in Kunming, the capital of Yunnan province. After construction stalled in 2013, authorities in Kunming finally decided to tear the eyesores down in August of 2021. They took about 3 years to build, but only 45 seconds to fall. Sunshine City 2 began construction in 2011. However, they quickly fell victim to China's aggressive urbanization initiatives. Like other ghost cities around the country, Sunshine City 2 ran out of money in 2013. By 2021, the skyscrapers had fallen into complete disrepair. The basements were flooded and beginning to rot, meaning tearing them down was safer than picking up where they left off. According to reports, the August of 2021 demolition required 4.6 metric tons of explosives installed over 85,000 detonation points. The dust cloud forced the evacuation of 5,300 people, with each household receiving about $23 in compensation. As for the one building that refused to fall, we believe they went back and blew it up later. On September 5th of 2018, a deadly 3-day fire broke out at the Bank of Lisbon Tower in Johannesburg, South Africa. The 23-story building went up in flames when an electrical fire began on the top level, which was occupied by the Department of Health. According to reports, the tenant departments, which were primarily local government branches, hadn't bothered to install proper fire suppression systems. They also failed to conduct any fire risk assessment and maintain their firefighting equipment. Sadly, their oversights cost them the whole building, and 3 firefighters lost their lives. About a year after the fire, on November 24th of 2019, Johannesburg finally tore the burned building down. After the demolition, the property owners said the space would be used to build another government building. But it doesn't look like any progress has been made. By 2022, the site had become a dumping ground full of garbage and debris. According to reports, you can see the pool of standing water that's formed at the bottom when you look from the street. This may be why some have accused the local government of destroying the building to conceal evidence. It seems like they wanted to get rid of it ASAP and didn't want to be associated with the gross neglect that cost 3 firefighters their lives. South Padre Island is a resort town and barrier island in Cameron County, Texas. It's home to about 2,000 people living only a few miles north of the Mexican border. Over the years, South Padre has become a popular spring break spot and tourist hotbed. The boom pushed many developers to build high-rise apartment buildings and condominium complexes. While many of those projects stand tall today, others had trouble getting off the ground. One such building was Ocean Tower, a proposed 31-story condominium complex that was doomed from the start. Construction halted in May of 2008. And the whole thing was scrapped in December of 2009. One lucky family was there to catch it all on video.
Holy moly! Oh! Go in front!
Let's see that again from another angle. Control the Demolition Incorporated was in charge of blowing up Ocean Tower. They rigged the building with about 1,550 pounds of explosives and over 14,000 feet of detonating cord. At the time, the 50,000-ton building was the tallest and largest reinforced concrete structure destroyed via implosion. So, why did they have to destroy Ocean Tower before it was even done? Simple. It was sinking. Construction began in April of 2006. By 2008, most of the main building and the underground parking garage was done. Then, the building started sinking into the soft ground. It fell about 14 inches, causing the tower to lean and develop a massive crack on the northwest wall. Construction stopped in the summer of 2008, and Ocean Tower was henceforth known as the Leaning Tower of South Padre. It was a $125 million blunder that ended with multiple explosions and a hefty lawsuit. On June 26th of 1950, builders in Fort Worth, Texas, broke ground on Landmark Tower, a 30-foot structure that would soon be the tallest building in the city. It was supposed to be the future home of Continental National Bank, but the building only made it 4 stories off the ground. Construction halted in the early to mid-1950s when the economy took a nosedive. Then, in 1956, builders returned to work, and the remaining 26 floors were added. Landmark Tower officially opened in 1957 when workers completed the finishing touch, a massive rotating digital clock on top of the building. Landmark Tower flourished through the 60s and 70s, but fell to shambles in the 1980s. Continental National Bank moved out, and Empire of America Federal Savings Bank moved in. Unfortunately, Empire Bank was on the fritz and was seized by the U.S. government in 1990. From there, Landmark Tower stood vacant for 16 years. In March of 2000, an F3 tornado damaged it, forcing the city to remove the 77-ton clock for safety reasons. Multiple plans to rebuild or restore the building failed, so Fort Worth took it down in 2006. Here's what the implosion looked like from down the street. Before the March 18th demolition, city officials evacuated 15 blocks around the building. Then they pressed the boom button, detonating about 360 pounds of rigged explosives. Today, the site is home to Cowtown Place, a 9-level parking garage that can hold 833 cars.
Thanks for joining. Stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.